What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Scuba Driver. My name is Steven. I know it's been a little while, but just kind of want to give you guys a quick update of everything that's going on, including what's going on with the FRS. We'll talk about that right now. But anyways, I got to pull the car in the garage because first things first, we need some new rear tires. Oh yeah, and my neighbors still love me. Man, I still really love how loud this car is, how good it sounds. But anyways, let's get to the topic of today's video is what's wrong with this car. So yeah, my car failed inspection yesterday, and we can obviously see why. Oh my gosh. This is the left rear tire, that's the right rear. You can see the difference between the two. They're both completely worn down, but this one way more worn down than the other one. My car is lowered, and we can safely say that it seems like it's out of alignment. I haven't had a line in a little while, and I know I've played with the suspension and all that, so that's all on me. That's just being lazy. But yeah, shouldn't be driving around with these tires anyway, so I cannot blame those guys over there for failing me. But anyways, I got two more tires. They're waiting for me at work right now, so I'm just going to load these up in the cube and bring them over to the dealership to have them installed. The place where I get my tires, my car is way too low for it to go on their lift, so I just need to bring my tires to them, have them mount the new ones, bring it back here, put them on my car, take my car to get it re-inspected because, as we can see, inspection runs out tomorrow, and I'm not trying to play around, not trying to get any fines, trying to keep my car legal. Oh, by the way, one of the last things we did to the car was my brakes, and I cannot be more happier with how they are still performing. They're holding up really well. I don't wash my car nearly as much as I used to, but when I do, I try and wipe them down. As you can see, they seem like they're in pretty good shape. They're about 6 months old now, I believe. I don't know, I have to go back and look and see when I did that video, but holding up very well. So really happy with the R1 Concepts brakes. Anyway, let's get into the nitty gritty, talk about what else is wrong with this car. All right, now that we got our sidekick in the car, we can talk about what's going on. So just want to talk to you guys about a few things. Don't worry, my window's rolled down, so I'm not locking her in a hot car. So, I've been building this car for a few years and trying to do it on a budget. And I think I've been, what are you doing, Rainbow? She's smelling my golf bag. She loves exploring in there. Anyways, yeah, I've been building this car for a few years, and I try and be as honest as possible with you guys, how I like everything, and, everything that I do to it, and all the negatives and positives about it. But anyways, let's start with this. Start with the Lambo doors. Yep, still have Lambo doors, still on the original shocks. I use them every single day. I've gotten a little bit lazier with using the Lambo doors. I usually, not usually, but sometimes I just open them regularly like this to get out of the car. That's about how far they'll open, which is really cool. But of course, once you get out here, you can go right on up. And sometimes it causes unnecessary attention that don't really want. But, when I go to the grocery store or the gas station, I don't always pop them up. But when I do, let me tell you something, it's definitely a conversation starter. But let's talk about the ups and downs of owning these doors. So with this being the passenger door, it doesn't get used nearly as much as the driver's side, obviously. Don't have too many passengers that ride in my car, just a couple of friends, coworkers, and my wife, but we usually take the cube because we usually have the dogs with us and they absolutely hate my car, except for Rainbow. But yep, this door is in pretty good shape still. The shock is really strong. In fact, you can't just let it go because, as you'll see, it just wants to leave, just wants to jump up and down. So you have to raise it up a little slower. And of course, this one's a little harder to bring down just because the shock isn't nearly as worn out as the driver's side. The only negative to this side is after a couple of years of use, it seems like you might need to adjust them a little bit more often. So, if the door, if you don't close it perfectly, it'll kind of clunk a little bit, which isn't that big of a deal, but everything still works on it. This fender, this was the second fender that we cut. We did the driver's side first before we filmed us doing the passenger side to make sure we knew what we were doing and to give you guys the best instructions possible. The driver's side is not nearly as perfect as this side. Not saying this side is perfect, as you see. We've got more of a fender gap over here, but you do have to shave the fender, so it's bound to happen. But this side, being the best side, very happy with it. Let's talk about this side, which I'm having some issues with. So I did something not very smart a few months ago. I actually did it on video with you guys. I drove this car with the doors up to do donuts for a video, and I had this driver's side door up, and when I was doing it, I didn't notice, but the door was slamming into the fender. This fender was already dented, a little bit down here, a little bit up there, and when I did that, it completely just busted out the fender, busted out the bolt. I really didn't know that was going on. And the first thing Vertical Door says is, one, don't install them by yourselves, which I did. We did a pretty good job. They've lasted a couple of years. They're still doing really, really well, the vertical doors themselves. It's just rule number 2 is do not drive with the doors up. I broke that rule one time and definitely regret it. I would say I learned my lesson. I won't do that again. I didn't think about the negatives of that. The door itself still works perfectly. Goes up and down very nicely. However, when I did that down here, the shock and everything was slamming into the fender, pushing it out, which caused all the dents. And every once in a while, I have to adjust this fender, which means denting it more. But don't worry, my plan is to get a new fender. I work at a body shop. I get discounts, but still, I want to make sure I get an OEM fender, not an aftermarket one, because I'm going to have to cut it again, and I want to make sure it fits perfect, just like that passenger one did. We cut this fender first, so we cut more than we should have, which isn't that big of a deal. I mean, it was literally my first attempt at any kind of body work ever, so I'm still happy with how it came out. The other thing it did, we'll talk about right now. So when I did those silly donuts with the doors up, which I don't really do donuts anyway, and I definitely shouldn't have done with the doors up, it ripped some of the wires inside my harness. So I have them kind of rigged up. I'm not very good with wiring. I think what I'm going to have to do is end up getting a new door harness, probably around the same time that I get the fender, so I can do it all at one time. But when I did that, it messed up some of the wiring in the door. My doors now won't lock with the key fob. They will lock, if I lock them with the key, which is fine. But the wires in there, I guess they're touching. Every time I change the fuse, it blows the fuse. So I just need to make sure I get that taken care of. Another thing it did is the speaker wire. It kind of shorted out some of the speakers, shorts out that fuse. I won't put you guys through that. The front speakers still work. The rears are kind of messed up in the door and in the tweeter over there. But that's just because of the wires touching in there, I believe. Still listen to my podcast and my music every single day. It's just not nearly as good sound quality. And every once in a while, when I close the door, the window won't go up all the way. I've heard that's a problem with some of these FRSs to begin with, but mine didn't start until after I did those donuts. So word of the wise, if you get Lambo doors, follow the instructions, get it done by a professional. If you're going to do it by yourself, make sure you don't do donuts with your door up, and don't be an idiot like me. With all that being said, I still love my vertical doors. I don't regret them at all. I just regret some of the decisions I've made while having them on the car. Still look pretty cool in the video, but 100% not worth it at all to do what I did. All right, other things going on with the car. Let's see, nothing too major. My clear coat is starting to pill on my Spec D headlights. I haven't messed with that yet. Hoping I can get the paint prepper at my work. He's going to help me out a little bit, I think. We're going to re-clear the lights. I trust him with doing that in the painter there, so I think we can get that taken care of. I have read about these before with the clear coat peeling, so they've lasted a good while. They haven't peeled all the way, but we'll get that taken care of, no problem. I had my carbon mirrors cleared about a year and a half ago or so, and that's starting to peel as well, but that's probably just from me not taking good care of it, them being exposed to the sun. I park outside at work. I've been letting Sarah park a lot more on the driveway, in the garage, and I've been parking on the driveway. So really not that big of a deal. The carbon wing is still holding up really, really well. The clear hasn't disintegrated too much off of there, but looking pretty good. So let's see, let's find out what else is wrong. The dents are what really bother me the most. I'm not gonna lie, that is so ugly, but we'll get that taken care of. Just gotta make sure it's in my budget. We're going to Disney World in January, so I'm not trying to spend too much money. So I'll probably get that taken care of towards the beginning of the year and get my wire harness as well. I really am thinking about either getting rid of my side skirts or getting new ones. These were given to me by my friend a while ago. They weren't in great shape. We kind of took care of them, but they don't fit very well. They're not my favorite things, but I know that there's some pretty good options out there that fit very well in this car. I don't even know what brand these are, if they are even a brand. They might just be eBay ones, but they give the car a pretty good appearance, but not exactly thrilled with them. I'll probably get something new in the future. Going back to my laziness, I have had these spark plugs from Toyota for my car for almost an entire year now, and I have not done them. So that is up on my list of things to do for maintenance on this car. Been keeping up, with the general maintenance, like my brakes, changing my oil, checking all my fluids, all of that stuff. But I know this car would run even better when I get those spark plugs on. Believe it or not, I actually have 130,000 miles, just crossed that mark. And I have not changed the spark plugs. I think I got this car with about 45,000 miles on it. And I haven't noticed too much of a difference, but I'm sure it's lost some power, and I would probably notice a lot better performance when I put the spark plugs in. So that is next up on my list. I'll make sure I film a video doing that. If you guys have any suggestions on doing the spark plugs, of course I have watched some videos on it, and I've had a few buddies that have done it in my 86 group as well. But if you've done it yourself and you have any tips, go and drop them in the comments below, because that'll probably be one of my next videos. I might do it here, but I also might put my car on the lift at work, which would make it a lot easier. But let me know, have you done your spark plugs in your Subaru FRS? Just let me know. Okay, Rainbow wants to go back inside with her friends. Go on. Other than those things, I can't really think of too much that's wrong with this car. Of course, it's a 2013, so it's a 8-9-year-old car, and it's going to have little quirks and stuff here and there, but this car has held up very, very well. It's got 130,000 miles, still drives like a dream. Never had any issues with it, knock on some wood, but really haven't had any issues other than issues that have been caused by me doing modifications or not doing the right things with my car. But other than that, no real complaints with it. If you guys have any suggestions other than the spark plugs, getting my new tires today, which I might film, I might not. I'm ordering some cheap tires because, well, my car is out of alignment. It goes through tires like crazy, and I'm not made of money. I don't really track my car. I don't need the nicest tires, and I want you guys to know that just because other people in your groups and everything say that you need the nicest things, if you can't afford it or it's not in your budget, just make sure you don't have to follow the crowd. Do what you want to do what's best for you, do what's best for your car and for your lifestyle, and that's what I do. And kind of ignore anybody that says anything different. Really happy with the modifications I've done to my car, the choices I've made, and I haven't spent way too much money. Probably spent more than I should have, but haven't spent way too much modifying this car, and I'm really happy. Starts up every single time, and just keeps me happy. Puts a smile on my face even after all these years. Every time I start it, every time I get it in the morning or after work, just makes me really happy. So let me know, what do you guys think? What are some things I should do to my car next? What are some videos that you guys want to see? I put up a post a few days ago, got a lot of support, just saying that I've kind of felt like I've lost a little creativity, lost a little bit of my drive with making these YouTube videos, and I really want to get back to it as much as possible, but also maintain a good quality of life. I work a lot of hours at work, have a family, and want to make sure I spend a lot of time with them, but I really, really miss making these videos. So thanks so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up. Get me back up in the algorithm. Can't wait to film another video for you guys. See you guys later. Peace.